So, welcome once again to this discussion on the Bhagavad Gita. Um, it is to continue with the discussion what we um, had in the last episode in English, and that is about karma and yajna. Karma, by far, we have seen that nobody can stay without doing something. Karma is a must, though we have tried to reconcile these two philosophies, Sankhya and Yoga. And the Bhagavad Gita has tried to bring about a synthesis between these two contrary forms. Contrary in the sense, Sankhya is something that despises karma or action. It believes in knowledge, but yoga believes in karma, action, work. So, while explaining everything to Arjuna, Sri Krishna says that knowledge is better than the works or the action. And if it is so, Durena Yavarang Karma, in the second chapter, we have already come across that. Sri Krishna says to Arjuna that knowledge is better than work because Sankhya philosophy uh, leads to Naiskarmya, and Naiskarmya is a prerequisite to get into that Brahmi Sthiti, to sublimate the being to a higher state. And that is the true aim of our life. We have been given a life, and that life is all about this. To make this life a greater one is the true aim of life. Doesn't matter what we do, but ultimately this life has to be elevated, has to be sublimated. So for that, Naiskarmya is a prerequisite, which Sankhya advocates. But yoga, it believes in karma, action. So Sri Krishna says knowledge is better than work. And then Arjuna, naturally, he asked a question that if it is so, then why do you insist me on doing some karma, participating in this great war, killing my relations, and this bloodshed and mayhems? Why all these things? If knowledge is better, so I must take recourse to that. Why action? Why karma? And why? What are all the things? Then already we have discussed those things, and Sri Krishna says, well, you see, two types of people are there. Those who believe in Sankhya, so they take knowledge as the medium, as the way, and those who prefer yoga, they have to do work. But you see, then Sri Krishna explains. You see, Naiskarmya is the aim. But doing nothing or by remaining absent from the karma, Naiskarma can never be achieved. Both of these two things cannot take you to Naiskarmya. This Naiskarmya, what the Sankhya advocates, is not about, desireless karma or action. Or it is again also not about doing nothing. And Naiskarmya is a state which normally a person with the present state can never achieve. And Sri Krishna also explains everything. Suppose a particular person, because why Sankhya advocates and knowledge, or why Sankhya, this speaks not to do any karma. The reason is, when somebody gets involved in some sort of karma, naturally karma becomes a bondage for him. All the hell breaks loose. Because for doing a karma, there must be some, instructions from inside. Maybe your mind, maybe your heart, or some desire from within that asks us to do some karma. And when we are indulged in karma, then so many attachments come. So many attachments come. And that already has been explained in the second chapter, Sankhya Yoga. So that's why Sankhya this speaks against karma. It only believes in knowledge. But here, karma is a must. Karma is a must. If somebody does nothing, still he has to do some karma for his sarira yatra, to maintain the body. This body has to be maintained. So some sort of karma, some sort of actions, some sort of works, has to be done. That cannot be avoided. That cannot be avoided. So karma is something we just cannot avoid. Sankhya says Prakruti does the karma. The Purusha doesn't get himself involved in karma. All that is all very well, and that is good also. But the only purpose is naiskarmya. Suppose we have to do something, definitely we have to do something. But suppose we control our senses and do something. No desire is involved. Well, that is a better thing, but not always it is possible. Suppose our senses are not under control and we just practice abstention from works, but the senses want a particular thing to be done, but we don't do anything because we are practicing some sort of naiskarmya. That is also not a thing which can serve our purpose, because the desire is inside, but we are not doing anything. That's why just remaining absent from karma or mere abstention from karma doesn't help us to get nice karma. So what you have to do, and the Bhagavad Gita, this when we say this Prakruti and Purusha, these two things, Sankhya speaks to us, and Prakruti does all the karmas, all the works, all the action. And this Prakruti has some gunas, Sattva, Raja and Tama. Sattva is the highest, and the middle part is Raja, and the lowest is Tama. But again, if we have to go to that Brahmi Sthiti, these three gunas one has to pass. Sattva being the highest of the three gunas is not everything. Is not everything. So karma one has to do. We just cannot relinquish karma. Without action, even a moment we cannot stay. Even a moment we cannot stay. Somebody has to do. So this Sankhya and Yoga, there has been a synthesis between these two by the Bhagavad Gita. And the other synthesis also the Bhagavad Gita has brought to fore. That is a difference between this Vedavada and Upanishadvada. Vedism and Upanishadism. Because Vedantism, we can say Vedantism, this Upanishad part. In Vedas, they also, speak us to get involved in some work. But in Upanishads, they say no, knowledge is everything. Knowledge is everything. So in the Vedas, they say you do some yajnas, setting fire to wood, then pour ghee into it, some, mantras have to be chanted. And then if you do some yajna, they will be given or offered to some gods. So gods will give you the results. Vedas have two sides also. We have already discussed that. Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda. Those who believe in Karma Kandas, they believe in these rituals. This ritualistic works. Yajna, pouring ghee, chanting mantras, and all sorts of things. So Veda says do this, so that the gods will be pleased. And when gods will be pleased, whatever you want, whatever your desire is, that is sure to be granted. But again, Vedantism is something else. Vedanta says that, you see, this human, all the men, all the people are just like, cows or cattle of these gods. So the gods never want that this human state or the humans be uplifted. So again, Upanishad or Vedanta also believes in knowledge as the Sankhya does. But then in case of Veda, they say the rituals they give importance to. So two things are clear here. We cannot go without work. Some work you have to do. And whatever work you do, by that, sometimes this naiskarmya cannot be achieved. What happens? Suppose we say that for my self-interest I am not doing anything. That may be right. But the self-interest is replaced by a bigger interest, by a collective interest. And we say that also it is naiskarmya. For example, for my own benefit, I may not do any work. But I may be doing something for my village, for my country, for my state, or for a larger humanity. And there also this only this object is replaced. The purpose is replaced. From individual self to a greater self, that has been transferred. But that is not enough. That is not enough. That is not naiskarmya. Because we have already, in the third chapter, Sri Krishna has already explained that not doing anything or abstention from work don't or cannot drive us to a state of naiskarmya. The thing is that you have to do some karma. So if that is the case, then how should we do the karma? Karma cannot be relinquished, cannot be given up altogether. As the Sankhya says, you cannot give up the karmas. Somewhere or other, you have to do certain things. And when you do, again, there is a chance that you may get entrapped by the results. You may get attached to the work itself. And then the other things will follow. So, yes, knowledge is good. And knowledge is better rather than karma. But karma, we cannot just leave aside or put aside without doing anything. This very life is not possible. That's what Sri Krishna explains to Arjuna. So, what does he say then? Then what is the right way to do this karma or the action or the works? Jagyarthat karmono nyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Yes, he says, by just doing works, otherwise, than for sacrifice, we get, attached to karma. Only except yajna is sacrifice. You see, yajna is a word in Sanskrit The root word is yaj. Jaj means adoration, worship. And this worship or adoration or bhakti, it comes out of love, a deep love. And the sublimated state of love becomes bhakti. So yaj means this. So you have to adore something or somebody, maybe gods, maybe anything. So yaj, yajna. So other than yajna, if you do uh, other than yajna, if you do work, so there is every chance that you may get attached. So that's why it says for sacrifice, practice works. For sacrifice, practice works. Whatever work you have to do, you do it for yajna only, sacrifice only. The English translation will be approximate English translation of yajna is sacrifice. So for only sacrifice you have to do the work. Other than this, if you put any other purpose for which work is to be done, then there is fear of attachment. We cannot do anything. And here, sometimes when those who are experts on the Bhagavad Gita, they speak of this Vedic karma kandas, yajna. Yajna. They say these rituals and well, at first it seems so, but the Bhagavad Gita drives at or doesn't drive at a point so narrow, because we have already discussed that Bhagavad Gita, beyond the time and space. It was not written for a particular age, neither for a particular sect of humanity. It is beyond time and space. It is for all ages. It is for all human beings. So if it is so, how can this idea of the Bhagavad Gita get limited only to this very case, this karma kandas? Because Gita takes a very comprehensive view of life and works and whatever we do. So for only this yajna, which in the Vedic view is just a ritual, for that you have to do work, perhaps for a ritualistic, institution to do work. This is not the advocacy of the Bhagavad Gita. It goes beyond. Of course, a lot about it. Jagyarthat sahajagya prada sruštva puruvacha pradapatihi anena prasavishadva mesha bustishta kamaduk. Sri Krishna also explains, when you sacrifice the lot of creatures, of old created creatures, and said, by this shall you bring forth fruits or offspring, let this be your milker of desires. So, that will be, we will be discussing it in the next episode. But here, this yajna, if any other purpose is there, because whenever we do a work, there is a purpose behind this. No work is purposeless. No work is purposeless. So there is some purpose in every work. If that is so, the purpose is more important here. So that's why, if there is a purpose, if there is a motive, then there is attachment, bondage, other things will follow. So Sri Krishna says, only for yajna do the works. And here it is a way to take you to a state of naiskaramya. Because yajna doesn't involve your self-interest. Yajna neither involves a greater interest. Yajna is something beyond all these things. So we'll be discussing, we'll be continuing with this what exactly we mean by Jagna and other things in the next episode. Till then, Namaskar.